Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be unboxing and building both the Tyranifex and the Turvigon. With the awesome new Tyranids Combat Patrol about to release this Saturday, I thought it'd be great to add both a Tyranifex and a Turvagon to the army. So in this video, I'll be unboxing the Tyranid Tyranifex set, and from this you can build both models. So I picked up two, and I'll build both variations, and then we can have a good look at all the details and the different weapon options too. Then hopefully this is going to help you decide whether or not you'd like to add these to your collection. Okay, here we go. Here's the Tyranid Tyranifex Box. So this box builds both the models, and great artwork on the front, real awesome picture of the Tyranifex, and it looks like he's got one of the weapon options there, and that's the acid spray, which is a great looking weapon, probably my favourite. But as we look at the box, you get the images all the way around, and as we flick it over, you can see the other variation, which is the Tyranid Turvigon, and this is so cool. And she spawns the termagants, so you can just keep them coming at the enemy, and this is just this great looking model, and having the two of them together, you've almost got the mama and the papa of the Tyranids army churning out these little baby termagants onto the battlefield. I can't wait to play this. It looks like a great set of models, but let's get the box open and we'll have a good look at all the contents. And so I'll go through it all in detail, the sprue, the book and everything. We'll get rid of the wrapper so we can get the lid off. And I believe this is quite an old model. I'm not sure when it was released. If you do know, add it in the comments below. It'd be great to find out. But here we go. We're going to get some nice chunky pieces in this. Some good amount of sprues. We've got the half sprue, and then we've got one large sprue there, and then one other large sprue. Then we've got our base, and then it looks like the instruction book is black and white. So that's a shame. I think it's been nice to have all the colour ones in these boxes now, but I think this reflects the age of the model. So let's go through everything in detail. We'll look at the book first, and then have a look at all the sprues up close. So here's our instruction book, and it's a strange size, not A4, it's kind of a bit like a skinny A4 size, but as we open it up, you can see it's quite dark in here as well. So I wouldn't say this is the clearest instructions I've seen, but there was no problem putting it together. It was really straightforward, but you go up to this stage for both models, so you build them both like that, and then when you get to here, you've got your options for the different states, so you can have the Tyranifex or the Turvigon, and then you've got the different weapons, so you've got the acid spray, the rupture cannon, or the flesh borer hive, so you've got all those different options there. And here's the rupture cannon. This is a beast in the game, and I'll talk about that later once you see the model built up. And so that's one way to go, or you can choose to go for this one, the Turvagon. So you've got a different head, which is nice, so they look totally different. And then you get all the features. Now you can add different claws, all the pincers on the front. I went with the claws, as you'll see later on. I just think they look so cool. Big chunky claws. I think it suits the model really well. So that's the book. Be better if it was colour, but I think it's easy enough to follow along with. Right, now let's have a look at the sprues. So this is the half sprue, and this is going to have the weapons for the Tyranifex on it. And so you can see here we've got the acid spray and the rupture cannon on here. Now these look great, lovely details. I think out of the two weapons I prefer the acid spray to look at, but that rupture cannon is just so good. The stats for it on the data sheet are amazing, and yeah, so I'll be going with that one for sure. Then we've got the different heads here, so they look great. And then we've got all the different leg pieces, some chicken wing looking pieces as well. So really interesting. We'll close up on these because these are those claws that I'll be putting on the Turvagon. And they look great, really cool looking claws. And then the heads too, some really nice detail. You can see that heavy armour on those spikes going over the head. And the horn of the Tyranifex, I think, just looks fantastic. So that's the first of the two big sprues. Let's grab the second big sprue now. And now this is going to be for the main part of the body. I'll just focus the camera there. There we go. So we've got the pieces here for the Turvigon, so you're not going to use them on both models. And then that's another part that's going to go onto the acid spray gun, as is that. And then you've got the main body parts, which you'll use for both variations of the model. Again, really nice detail, some big pieces of plastic here, but I'm loving it. This is going to be great fun to paint, and I'll be trying out the airbrush for the first time on my Tyranid army, so I'm really looking forward to giving that a go. But yeah, you can see the back. So yeah, really nice and easy to put together. Not too many mold lines. I'll zoom in on this bit because this is a great piece. These are the little termagants that'll be bursting out of the Turvagon. So yeah, they look great. Really awesome. One's got a gun and there's another one on the sprue that doesn't have a weapon. So yeah, really looking great so far. Then you've got the oval base, and I'll grab the ruler, so you're looking at 120mm, or just over 4.5 inches, by 90mm, or 3.5 inches. So good size, and these are pretty decent models. So now we've seen all the contents, I'll go away, get these built, I'll do both variations, one Tyranifex, one Turvigon, and then we'll have a close look and discuss the different options we can go with for the weapons, and then you'll get a really good look at what these models are like when they're put together. And there we are, all built. Didn't take too long at all, and really easy to put together. And then I haven't glued them to the base yet. I think I will, but I'm just thinking about how I'm going to do the basing for this army. Also painting it as well. I might paint it first before I glue it onto the base this time to get underneath. But there we go. I've built this guy with a rupture cannon. Really awesome. And then here's the other one, the Turvagon, with those termagants bursting out. Just looks awesome. I love the big guts underneath. I think it looks great. Let's look at the Turvigon first, and I've gone for the massive crushing claws instead of the massive scything talons. I just think they're awesome. I like the idea of the talons, and you can either choose between sweep and strike with them, but I do like the look of these claws. And I think you could easily, with this model, say you're using either of those two weapons, as long as your opponent's happy and you make it clear at the start of the game. I don't think there's any problem with that. You're also going to get stinger salvos, so you've got an assault 8 type weapon as well, so that's pretty good. And then you can add things like the adrenal glands and the toxin sacs to give you some buffs too. So really fantastic models, these. Really good size as well. I was really impressed with how big they are, but I just love them. I think they're awesome. And when I get the combat patrol, I think these are going to just look so good with all those termagants running out. It's going to be great. If you did want to add the massive scything talons instead, then that's what they look like there, and you just replace those with the crushing claws. And so yeah, it'll give a little bit of a different look to the model, but I just like these little pincers. I think they look great, so that's what I went with. But either way, you can put those on and you're going to get a great looking model. You get lots of adrenal glands and toxin sacs that you can add to the model as well if you want to play as what you see is what you get style. And then there's lots left over from the sprues for this particular model. You can see you've got all the weapons left from the Tyranifex there. So yeah, you've got a lot left over if you build this variation for sure. But I think this would be great to use all these in little pieces of terrain, maybe scattered terrain, and build them into some kind of battlefield where loads of Tyranids have been taken out in the past. Now we're on to the Tyranifex, and yeah, so I've built him with that rupture cannon. It's huge, 48 inches, it's heavy 3, strength 14, minus 4 AP, and the damage is D6 plus 4. So that is going to just do some serious damage. So I had to put that weapon on there rather than the acid spray. I really like the acid spray, I think it's the best looking weapon, but man, this had to have that rupture cannon with those stats. Here's the face. You can see he looks awesome with that big horn. And then you've got little spikes underneath. So you've got no guts hanging down with no spawning termagants on this one. But yeah, that cannon's just a beast. I can't wait to play it. I think it's going to do some serious damage. And yeah, the stats for the Tyranids now with this new combat patrol and the new codex are just looking really great. So really happy with this model. If we compare it to the other one, you can see the faces are different, so they make a good looking pair, and these are going to be brilliant with all the termagants running around them, and then the hive tyrant with the wings, and then the 3 warriors as well. All that together is going to be a great looking army. So here's a close-up of the acid spray weapon. Now I glued it together, and so just so you could see what it would look like. I think you could magnetize this, you know, if you wanted to. I didn't want to. I thought it'd just be too fiddly. I didn't fancy doing that on this. But you could, where you got the little ball joints by the shoulders, you could put magnets there and then put magnets in the other one as well. And then you've got these. These are going to be your flesh borer hive. So this is an assault 30 weapon. And they look like chicken wings, which I think is great. So you could put those on too. Again, if you wanted to, I'm sure you could magnetize those as well. And so that's the 3 weapon options that you can build with the Tyranifex. So you've got lots of choice there. You still get lots left over on the sprue. You get those big chunks that were on the Turvigon, and then you also get all the adrenal glands and the toxin sacs as well. And then with the weapon options built up, there's not that much left on the sprue, but still loads you could use for future projects and terrain. So there we go, that's the Tyranifex and the Turvigon all assembled with all the different weapon options that you can use on the models. And I've got to say, I'm really happy with these. I think they look fantastic. They're going to be great fun to play, and I'm really looking forward to trying out my airbrush on these and painting this army up. So can't wait for that. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it gave you a good idea of what's included in this box set, and having those two variations of the models is brilliant, I think. But I'd love to know what you think about them, so let me know in the comment section below. It'd be awesome to hear from you. And I'll be unboxing the Combat Patrol. As soon as I get it, I'll be going through the Tyranids Codex and the card pack as well, so lots to look forward to. And then as I paint the army, I'll be documenting that and doing some painting videos as I go as well. And then once we get that, we can get these up against my space walls for some serious battles. But until then, thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.